What's up? Welcome back to the MindShare Podcast. So I sent out this email the other day. Actually, I might be going out soon, but whatever. As I was writing it, I caught myself thinking, this is actually bigger than an email. Like there's more meat and potatoes to this thing, and quite frankly, those emails can get really long. So I had to make sure that I condense it, but then find a way to expand it. And well, here we are, right? Because it's one of those things that people read, they kind of nod their head, they agree with you, but then even probably go yeah, that makes sense. But then they do nothing with it. So I figured, we're going to do this in a podcast. We're going to slow this down for a minute. This is episode number 383. Every new person you meet is an opportunity. Every single one. And I know that sounds like one of those things that people throw around in sales and sort of go, yeah, everybody's an opportunity. But seriously, I don't think most people actually believe it. Not really. Because if they did, most people in this industry would act really, really differently every single day. I mean, think about the last week. Just literally this last week. Past 5-7 days. How many people did you meet? Where'd you meet them? Were you at the gym? Were you at the coffee shop? Dropping the kids off at school? You're showing a property? You're having an open house? Random conversation somewhere. How many of them? Now, how many of those people turned into anything? Yeah, exactly, right? See, this is where most people lose it. Still trying to figure it out. Are they serious? And not you or that, but I mean, screening the people you're talking to. Are they serious? Or are they ready to buy or sell a property? Or who's doing something right now? But that is the absolute wrong question. All of them are the wrong questions. See, last week I told you, and I suggested to you, a little paradigm shift, to start looking at every single person that's out there that's not yet in your database, they're worth $1 to you. Okay? Not literally, obviously, but just stay with me here. Every person you meet equals $1. You meet them, you've got $1. You do nothing with it, you basically left that dollar on the table. Now, if you take that person, you put them in your CRM, you've just made a deposit. That's it. It's that simple. And that's all it is, though. You made a deposit. But see, where things start to get interesting, because that dollar, it's not actually worth $1 anymore. That dollar that you just invested, that you just deposited into your CRM, your investment account, your investment portfolio, that dollar's got the potential to become whatever your average commission is. That could be $5,000, $10,000, $20,000, whatever your number is on the average commission that you do when you close a deal. That's what that has the potential to become. $1 into what I'll call thousands. And that's just one person. One opportunity. And I know some of you are thinking right now, right, where it's, yeah, but that doesn't mean they're going to do a deal. Of course it doesn't. But that's not the point. The point is, you just gave yourself a shot. And most people aren't even doing that. See, when you go back to those people that you might have met over the past 5-7 days, you're meeting people, you're having conversations with people, and then what? What do you do with it from there? Most people, again, absolutely nothing. There is no follow-up. There is no process. There's no system. There's no plan. There's no deposits. There's no next steps. There's nothing coming after the fact. The whole opportunity just up and disappears right then and there. And you don't even realize it because your mind isn't thinking about it the same way. You're looking at the person, you're thinking to yourself, we just met, there's nothing here. Why would I even think that there's an opportunity? We didn't talk about real estate. We didn't talk about, their house. We didn't talk about any of this stuff. What do you mean it's an opportunity? And then all of a sudden, 3 months or 6 months later or even a year later, you'll see this person post something on social media or whatever, and it's they bought a house or they sold a house. They worked with somebody else. And you're sitting there thinking to yourself, like, whoa, what just happened there? Nothing happened. That's the problem. So the other day, I'm running a momentum training session, and again, momentum training is this 12-part series, this training program, which we coined as an external execution system because what it's meant to do is be brought into an office and help support leadership and support the agents in everybody being more productive. Now, I'm running one of the sessions for one of the many groups that we're working with right now off the top of the year. And, at the end, what we do is, and each session is broken down where we sort of get online a few minutes early. We sort of talk about what some of the things that we might have talked about the last session. And people are walking away with a whole bunch of takeaways between sessions. They got to do the work. So we get on a little bit early to see like who's got questions about anything, stuff we did. Anyhow, we go through. Each one runs about 2 hours. And at the end of it, we do a live Q&A. A little bit of a round table for anybody that wants to stick around. So we get into the Q&A, and at the end, one of the guys asked me, he says, how do I do this without sounding creepy? Now, what he means by that is, here I am talking about adding more people to your database. And I'm talking about, in this particular session, we're talking about follow-up. How do you actually follow up with people? What does the system look like? What steps do you take? And how do you make sure it's systematized? You've got what we call an SOP, a standard operating procedure. So you do the exact same thing every single time you meet somebody new. Becomes systematized, becomes habitual, becomes consistent, becomes very, very effective, or may I say, lucrative. So we're talking about follow-up, we're talking about meeting new people, and he's got this question again of how do I do this without sounding creepy? Because I'd made some suggestions that said, every time you're out, focus on meeting one new person. That's 365 new people in a year. And yes, I know there's chances that there's going to be certain days that you're not going to meet somebody new, but there's going to be other days where you might have the opportunity to meet 2 new people or 4 new people. So the idea here is if you've got this goal of 365 new people a year, one person a day, and you stay focused, you stay locked in on that in your day, like today even, as you're listening to this, I don't know where you are, but I thank you for listening. I don't know if you're driving, I don't know if it's the top of your day, the end of the day. Either way you slice it, what I'm going to say to you is every 24 hours, just be thinking, where can I meet somebody? How can I add somebody new to my database? How can I start a new relationship? How can I plant a new seed? Again, back in the day, that's how people did it. And you might say, well, we're not back in the day. I can use social media. I can use online channels. I can run ads. Yeah, you can. But remember, you're not as connected to the person you just met. You are more of a stranger because there wasn't that human interaction that took place. You've spent a whole bunch of money doing it. So again, the logic says that if you just really put your mind to it and you consciously think about it in a day to meet somebody new, and then add them to the database, invest them, deposit them into the CRM so they turn into an investment. When you're thinking that way, you're creating more opportunity. So again, everybody's on board with this. Everybody's paying attention to it, and he's got a great question. And essentially where he's going is, like, what you're saying to me is that when I talk to somebody today, take the opportunity to get their contact info and put them in the CRM. I said, yeah. He says, but the thing is this, like I know a lot of people, and this guy happened to, and he had said to me, he said a few years ago, probably I think it was about 5 years ago or so, he owned a bar. So the people in his network know him as this guy that owned a bar. And now he's into the sales side of the game. And the whole thing is like, how do I transition that? How do I get people to believe what I'm doing and not think that I want to talk about bar or talk about sports or whatnot, but I'm here, I can help them, with their house. Whether it's financing it, whether it's selling it, I can help. And he goes, and when I'm meeting new people, that whole thought of, how do I approach it so that, yeah, like we've said a few times already, because this question was like, how do I do this without sounding creepy? Because you just walk up to somebody like, hey, what's your name? What's your email? What's your phone number? I'm going to add you to my database and start marketing to you. Like, obviously, that's not the approach. Obviously, that's not how we do it. But that's why his question, straight up, fair question. Because again, yeah, you can't just meet somebody and then go into full stalker mode on them. Like, that's not what we're doing here, right? But I also don't want to complicate it either. You see, simplify it. You met somebody, and this was essentially the way I answered the question to him, right? But you met somebody. You got their name. You know where you met them, right? You were again at the rink, at the gym, wherever. You had a conversation about something. It could have been about the birds and the bees. It could have been about, the playoffs. It could have been about what's going on, let's say on the ice right now at your kids' hockey. I don't know, right? Like, you had a conversation about something. Maybe their favorite food. I don't know. Maybe it was about business and life, or God knows. But it happened, right? So start right there. Whatever it was, start there. Okay? I mean, again, you're at the gym. You meet somebody. His name is David. You talk for a couple minutes. Cool. What's the next step? I'm not suggesting you ask them for their SIN number. You're not asking for their life story. But you connected. That's it right there. But this is also it where it's the moment where you judge a book by its cover. The moment where you normally talk, but not about business. So then when the conversation's over, you don't even consciously think. Like, it's almost like you disregard the opportunity altogether. And that right there is the moment where we miss out. It's right there. But I know you're listening to me here, and you're buying in this idea of, like, looking at your CRM like an investment portfolio. You are, right? I mean, how could you not be? Think about how much money you're sitting on. You're sitting on a gold mine. You just need to mine that shit. So, knowing that, and knowing that you did tune into the other episode last week, and when we talked about the gold mine, and we talked about the dollar, and we went through the investment strategy, no shot you're going to miss out right here, right? You're going to make the conversation. You're going to make the effort to get contact information without being creepy. Because that's the moment right there. That's the moment we turn conversation into opportunity. The other person on the other end doesn't even know it. But for us, we just got a seed planted. Well, the more seeds we got planted, the more opportunity we have to bear fruit. The more we eat, the more money we make. I mean, geez, I could be really blunt about this. I guess I am being pretty blunt about it. I'm usually pretty blunt about it. You get the point. Like, look, first, start by introducing yourself. You're sitting there talking. Hey, look, okay. We're at the gym, and I'm having a conversation with somebody. I don't know their name, but we've seen each other a few times, or maybe we've connected on something where there's a connection to have a conversation. So, hey, I'm David, by the way. Right away, I throw my name out there. There's the first step. And is that creepy, by the way? Like, to tell somebody your name? I don't think that's creepy. Do you? Obviously, it's not creepy. Now, what's going to happen, though, when you tell somebody your name? They're going to reciprocate. They will naturally tell you their name. Now, if you weren't in a moment where it was a natural opportunity to ask for a phone number or an email in that moment, because sometimes it's not, right? Because that's the moment where it could get creepy. Like, I met somebody, brand new at the gym. I'm David, by the way. What's your phone number? Yeah, that might be a little bit awkward. Right? Or what's your best email? Like, why? But what isn't creepy? Using social media to your advantage. So if I'm at the gym and I'm talking to somebody about something, maybe the Blue Jays, okay, I can actually strategically in my brain think, hey, this is a moment to get contact information. I'm not going to say it to them. I'm not going to act like that, but my brain is firing because I'm in that mode. I want to meet somebody new today, right? This is, again, paradigm shift, habit shift. But I'm going to take a moment to try to think in my brain, what have I got on my social that I can reference right now? It could be a video of something I want to show them. It could be an article that I saw. It could be something. So what I'm doing now is maybe I'm going to open up my Insta. I'm going to pull it. Let me show you something. And I show them on the Instagram, which they now see my profile, okay, potentially. And in it, I'm like, you know what? You're on Insta, aren't you? Yeah. Let me, what's your profile? Or like, what's your handle? And they'll give it to you. And then from there, it's like, let me send it to you. Here, I'll send it to you right now. Now, what do you do when you go to their profile? Of course, you hit follow. And then you send them the DM. Maybe with the article or the picture or the video or whatever. Or if you're not sending them that, at least you send them a DM and you go, hey, nice to meet you. Okay? Not hard. We're leveraging social as a way to create connection and open opportunity. A way to stay in touch. See, social media is the easiest bridge we've got. Everybody's on one of these platforms, right? Whether it's Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook. I don't know why anybody's on Facebook anymore. I hate that platform. Whatever. Like everybody's somewhere. And the thing is that people connect with strangers on social media all the time. It's like literally all the time. So why would that be weird? It's not. People just for some reason filter in their brains and think it is, but it's not. We just met a stranger. How many strangers do you meet on social every day? And you're like, oh, I don't really, meet many people. I don't really go on there much. No, but like straight up, when you post content, it's not just your friends or your followers seeing it. There's going to be total strangers that are going to see it. And if you go to your friends list, your followers list, guaranteed you got strangers that are either friended with you or following you. So it's not weird to connect with strangers or people you just met through social media. Again, the phone number, going out, for dinner, asking for an email, whatever else. That could get weird. Wanting their address so you could go over to their house. That could get weird. You just met each other. But social? Not weird. Okay? So now think about this. I leveraged social media to have the conversation. Or I had the conversation, and I leveraged social media to make the connection that will start to grow. Okay? That basically planted that seed. I'm using something. Because again, if I just walk away from it and I don't make a connection, I don't get contact info, look, straight up, yes, you will see this person again, and you will have an opportunity again to, speak more, get a little bit more comfortable with each other maybe, and then go for it. But what I'm saying to you is, even right off the top that first day, if I know I see you often and I will see you again, why not take the opportunity right then and there? What am I waiting for? So in this case now, I didn't wait. We had the conversation. We said what's up. I'm like, oh, my name is David, by the way. And as we're talking about whatever we're talking about, I'm thinking in my head, how do I get the contact info? What can I grab at through my social or on social that I could open it up and be like, oh, let me show you this, and show them something or reference something and say, you know what, I'll send it to you even. What's your handle on Insta? I'll DM it to you right now. Bang, I got their handle. So I've got a first name. I've got the handle. Hey, maybe I see them again next week. Maybe I don't. And if I don't, I just missed the opportunity if I didn't get this info. And if I do get the info and I do see them next week, again, we're just strengthening the connection. We're just watering that seed. Because now we've got something, right? The thing is, it's not just about having something. It's like what you do with that something. That's the bigger key because, again, that's the missing link for most people. They do nothing. Nothing. But the answer to what do? You deposit them into your CRM. Yeah, but I didn't get a lot of info, and they didn't talk about real estate. They didn't talk about, wanting to buy, sell, or needing, financing, whatever. Okay. But you've got a first name. You know where you met them. You know what you talked about. Anything you remember, we're going to track it. Like, that's it. It's that simple. Look, you've just made a deposit. And that, though, even in that moment, if we get as far as making the deposit, that right there is where most people actually do stop. And this is why nothing ever happens. Nothing ever manifests itself. We never get to that point of getting the business. All right. Let's take a real quick commercial break right here, as we normally have to and want to. This episode of the MindShare Podcast is brought to you by Kits Keep In Touch Systems, your ultimate marketing and lead generation CRM. If you're in real estate, you need Kits. And REM Real Estate Magazine, Canada's premier magazine for real estate professionals and industry stakeholders, delivering news, insights, and commentary on the real estate industry. While you're listening, head over to mindshare101.com and grab your free Ultimate Marketing Bundle. And if you're ready to grow your business with coaching, group training, or want to bring momentum training into your office, reach out. All right, let's keep rolling over here because we got a lot more to cover. Look, Well, I don't know if it's a lot more. I don't want to overwhelm you and think like, oh my God, Dave, like slow down. I don't have all day here. Wait, what are you talking about? How could you not have all day for the MindShare podcast? Like, I cannot believe you did not clear your day to listen to the MindShare podcast. All right. Jokes aside. Let's get back to it, seriously. Look, having a database and using a database, two completely different things. Okay? Putting people in is step one. Investing them is step two. And investing just means you don't forget about them. You follow up. You stay in touch. You build MindShare. And you don't do it in a way where it's like constantly going, like aggressive, right? And you don't want to weird people out and make things awkward. And we don't want to force things, right? Like push. Like, hey, I know we talked at the gym about, the Blue Jays, but like, do you want to sell your house? Or what about now? Or calling again like a few weeks later, well, what about now? It's just about being there and being there consistently. And yeah, you know what? Sometimes it is going to feel a little bit weird. Sometimes you're not going to know exactly what to say to somebody. And just a quick reminder on that, always use a Ford, use Ford, the acronym Ford, F-O-R-D, family, occupation, recreation, and dreams. Use that anytime you're in a conversation where it's like, what can I talk about? What should I say? Whether it's on the phone, whether it's at the door, whether it's in person. Instead of just the birds and the bees or the weather, what do we talk about? Talk about family. Talk about business. Talk about what people do to have fun. Talk about if anybody has any big vacations or big exciting stuff coming up. I mean, there's a lot to talk about. It's just a matter of kind of knowing where you want to have your brain fire when you're in the midst of having that live conversation. And now you will have something to say. Okay? But it doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be polished. We're not looking to see, we don't want them thinking we're an order taker or we're somebody who's trying to, get a 20-question checklist answered that we can then stick into our database and then market the shit out of people. Like, we're not looking to do that. Okay? But yeah, I mean, hey, welcome to the process. Because the thing that most people are like not doing and not wanting to hear is that like, shit doesn't usually happen that fast. It takes so much time. You can have some people that, yeah, they move quick, but most people don't. Most people that you just meet, you're thinking months. We got to be looking at years. It takes time. But that doesn't mean that those people that you just met, that may not be an opportunity today, it doesn't mean they don't matter. And that's the mindset shift you got to make right now. Okay? Because you're not just looking for the right now. The actual reality is you're building a pipeline. That's what you're doing every day. See, again, in sales, a lot of times what's going on is everybody's looking for the right now. I want it right now. I got to find a deal now. I haven't done a deal in 30 days or 60 days. It's the top of the year. I got to hit my numbers. I got to hit my word levels. Like, I get it, but it's not about just the right now. And that's where the mindset shift is all wrong. You've got a business that you're running. You own a business. You are a business. And you want long-term business. And this is a long game. So the only way the pipeline actually grows and the only way the opportunity continues to come, because not everybody you meet's going to turn into a deal. We already established that. But the only way that this thing grows and you continue to have success and sustainability and consistent volume is if you keep adding to that pipeline. One person a day. That's it. One. That's 365 people in a year. And again, think about that for a second. Because this is where it gets a little bit ridiculous. If you take 365 people, okay, if even a small percentage of those people turn into a deal over time, that's some serious money. Think about that. Okay? But again, only if you actually do something with them. That's the difference. Because if you don't, they're just conversations that you had. That's it. Just a conversation. Doesn't go anywhere. And then you're stuck still doing the exact same thing that you've always done. Stressing and worrying about where the next deal is going to come from. Wondering why you're not more consistent. Look, conversations don't pay you, but relationships definitely do. And in this game, we know it. 70 to 90% of your business is coming from those, if not more. So look, at the end of the day, this is like it's simple. It's simple. Okay, it's not necessarily easy, and I wouldn't even mistake that to say like it's hard, because it's not. Talking to people is not hard, but knowing what to say sometimes sounds hard. Knowing how to convert into opportunity sometimes sounds hard. But again, it's not really. Okay, it is simple. You meet somebody, you add them to the database. You invest in the relationship. You build the MindShare. Done. Stop trying to figure out right on that moment, like, who's worth your time? Should I put the person in? Did we have a conversation? Maybe I'll wait till next time. Like, stop screening all this stuff. You're doing yourself a disservice with this. Instead, you got to just start realizing everybody is an opportunity. That's the beauty of this business. If they got a roof over their head, they become an opportunity. And look, yeah, we can niche down and start to really focus on your niche markets. And don't get me wrong, from a marketing standpoint, important stuff. In saying that, though, that's the beauty of this business. Everybody becomes an opportunity. And we, none of us, have any idea which one of those $1 contacts, those or $1 people, all those people that are worth $1 that you don't really know, they don't really know you, and they're not in your database. I mean, you drive next to them, you walk next to them, you shop next to them. They're all $1. But every single one of them has the potential to turn into $5,000 or $10,000 or $50,000 or a chain of referrals over time that just compounds because these people continue to send you a whole bunch of business. You don't know. So give yourself a shot. That's it. I'm David Greenspan, reminding you to build MindShare, because MindShare equals market share. A big thank you to Kits and Rem Magazine for sponsoring this episode of the MindShare Podcast. I want to thank you for tuning in. I will catch you next week.